As early as 8 years ago, Saudi Arabia launched an ambitious plan called Vision 2030. This plan aims to comprehensively improve the quality of education, expand manufacturing, and carry out large-scale construction in infrastructure and high-tech fields. In realizing this vision, China also plays a crucial role. From the Jazan economic city commercial port to the spectacular Haramain high-speed railway project, the cooperation between China and Saudi Arabia has yielded fruitful results. However, these collaborations are just the beginning. Just a few days ago, China and Saudi Arabia once again joined hands to sign a new cooperation agreement, planning to build 20,000 new housing units in newly developed residential areas in Saudi Arabia. However, with China's frequent economic and political activities in the Middle East, this has made some Western countries uneasy, and they are worried that the existing geopolitical structure may change. In today's video, we'll explore what exactly is China doing in the Middle East to expand its influence. Why is Saudi Arabia willing to choose China to build these 20,000 new housing projects? If you like our video content, please click to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can receive all our latest video content. Now, let's get into today's topic. Saudi Arabia is one of the largest economies in the Middle East, with a population of more than 36 million, and its oil reserves are also considerable, approaching 40 billion tons. In 2023, Saudi Arabia's oil production reached 600 million tons, accounting for 15.2% of the world's total production, ranking second in the world. However, as the global economic landscape continues to change and energy demand continues to grow, governments and companies around the world are seeking new ways of sustainable development. For countries like Saudi Arabia that rely on oil exports, economic diversification and energy transformation have become urgent tasks. Against this background, Saudi Arabia proposed the Vision 2030 plan in 2016. This ambitious plan aims to reduce dependence on oil and accelerate the comprehensive modernization of the economy, society, and culture. It is worth noting that China is Saudi Arabia's largest trading partner, and the two sides have always been very close in economic and trade cooperation. Saudi Arabia is also one of the first countries in the Middle East to respond to, support, and actively participate in the joint construction of the Belt and Road. In order to support a series of major initiatives in Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, China has actively participated in Saudi Arabia's industrialization process and helped it achieve economic diversification. Among them, the Red Sea New City project, as one of the key projects of the Vision 2030, is particularly eye-catching. This project covers an area of 28,000 square kilometers. It is the first comprehensive project undertaken by China and Saudi Arabia and is of great significance to Saudi Arabia's economic transformation. The Red Sea New City project is expected to receive 1 million domestic and foreign tourists every year after it is fully completed, thus promoting the further development of the Saudi economy. In addition, in 2018, Saudi Arabia invited China to help it build the Haramain high-speed railway project. The investment amount of this project is as high as $8.3 billion, connecting the important cities in the hinterland of Saudi Arabia, Mecca and Medina. Both cities are of extremely important religious significance to Muslims around the world. The Haramain high-speed railway line has a total length of 450.25 kilometers and a design maximum speed of 360 kilometers per hour. It is the world's first double-track electrified high-speed railway that crosses the desert and has the highest speed. After the Haramain high-speed railway was officially put into operation, the journey that originally took 4 hours was shortened to 2 hours, providing great convenience to pilgrims and other travelers. So far, The Saudi Vision 2030 report shows that 87% of the 1,064 initiatives planned to be implemented in 2023 have been completed or are on track. Among them, 81% reached the third-level indicators, and 105 indicators even exceeded the expected goals for 2025. Now, Saudi Arabia has once again reached a cooperation agreement with China worth $2.5 billion and handed over 20,000 new housing projects to China for completion. As far as I know, this project is one of the efforts to achieve the goals of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 housing plan, which aims to cooperate with leading global companies and attract international capital to invest in the local real estate sector. The agreement was signed in May 2024 during the visit of the Saudi Minister of Urban and Rural Affairs and Housing to China, with a contract value of approximately $2.5 billion. It is jointly constructed by the Saudi housing company NHC and the Chinese mechanical engineering company CMEC, and is fully responsible for the design, procurement, construction, and subsequent defect repair of the project. The goal is to more effectively address the kingdom's housing needs and improve the housing supply situation. This cooperation agreement not only involves the construction of a large number of new homes, but also includes the establishment of an industrial city consisting of 12 factories and a building materials logistics zone in Saudi Arabia to ensure the stability of CMEC's residential supply chain. According to the project engineering plan, the total area of new residential construction in Saudi Arabia is up to 1.5 million square meters, and construction is expected to begin in 2025. But the project is not just residential construction, but also includes the construction of multiple key facilities, such as medical institutions, power plants, water, electricity and communication facilities, schools, and retail stores. It is expected that the entire project will be completed in 2027. Once this new residential construction project is completed, it will effectively improve the living environment of 100,000 local residents. Modern residences and complete supporting facilities will provide them with a more comfortable, safe, and convenient living space. If this project is successfully implemented, Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 will be further realized. It is worth noting that the strategic partnership between Saudi Arabia and China not only enhances the vitality of the Saudi real estate market, but also provides citizens with more affordable housing options and promotes non-oil GDP growth. According to data, the real estate industry contributes as much as 12.1% to the Saudi economy, while the construction sector contributes 11.2%. As one of the largest real estate companies in the Middle East, NHC is committed to developing multiple residential suburbs and integrated urban communities. It is planned that by the end of 2026, NHC will develop 9 comprehensive residential areas and deliver 300,000 new homes, increasing the homeownership rate of Saudi households to 70%. This cooperation between NHC and CMEC not only opens the door to cooperation with many local factories, but also provides opportunities for NHC, its subsidiaries, and multiple departments of other projects to attract top service providers. This cooperation model demonstrates the deep integration of China and Saudi Arabia in the fields of real estate and infrastructure construction and promotes technological exchanges and resource sharing. Since Saudi Arabia launched its Vision 2030 plan in 2016, the country is about to become the world's largest construction site, with a total of 4.13 trillion rials, or about $1.1 trillion, invested in infrastructure and real estate projects. China has repeatedly shined in the Saudi construction market with its strong technical capabilities in infrastructure facilities and rising political relations with Saudi Arabia, especially in the fields of energy, water affairs, environmental protection, agriculture, infrastructure, transportation facilities, industrial engineering, and communications along the Belt and Road. China has helped Saudi Arabia build a large number of high-quality projects. At the same time, Chinese companies have also found new growth opportunities in the Saudi market, further consolidating the strategic partnership between China and Saudi Arabia. But for the United States and other Western countries, the closer cooperation between Saudi Arabia and China will pose a great threat. What is going on? In fact, China's influence in the Middle East has been growing in recent years, and this is what Western countries are worried about. As early as 2022, Saudi Arabia became China's largest oil supplier, and China is also Saudi Arabia's largest trading partner. The bilateral trade volume between the two countries reached $116.04 billion, a year-on-year increase of 32.9%, far exceeding the bilateral trade volume between the United States and Saudi Arabia. This shows that China's influence in the Middle East is gradually expanding, while the status of Western countries is gradually being challenged. In addition, Saudi Arabia, as an important country in the Middle East, and its close cooperation with China have continued to increase China's influence in this strategic location. This weakens the dominant position of the United States and its allies in the region and may affect the interests of Western countries in the Middle East. At the same time, China has also continued to establish extensive economic ties with Saudi Arabia and other Belt and Road countries through technology export and capital investment. For the West, this means more intense competition and competition for market share. However, China's high efficiency and low-cost advantages have enabled it to gain significant competitiveness in the fields of infrastructure construction and industrial engineering. But I think these worries and fears of Western countries are unnecessary. Because the strategic cooperation between China and Saudi Arabia is based on equality and mutual benefit, its completion depends on the will and interference of any third-party country. If Western countries want to break this situation, I think they need to make some practical strategic planning for Middle Eastern countries. To not miss out on our future projects and news updates, please make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. We will continue to provide you with more exciting and interesting content.